All right. I want to talk to you about resources. Your first resource is yourself. Uh, YouTube videos are also a resource. Making them initially is driving me crazy, but I'm working on it. I will improve over time. In the meantime, I will try and share some information with you, and hopefully, by the time we're finished with these little chats, you will be in a much better position to uh, make use of resources, be more aware of available resources, and know yourself better. Uh, now, pardon me for some of my pauses. I'm getting coaching soon, and these things will flow much more smoothly at that point. For now, the pause button is very useful for those of you who get involved in making YouTube videos. A little coaching. This is another resource, of course, one that we might as well talk about right up front, since it's the medium through which I'm trying to give you this information. Coaching helps, and the pause button is extremely useful. It helps you to take some time out from your video and collect your thoughts and prepare to move on to the next step. This has all been sort of by way of a brief introduction. I'm making these videos as a result of a challenge, but I'm also making these videos because I want to challenge myself to learn how to do them well, and because people have asked me to do them, to make videos, to put a resource out there that they could tap into, and so here we are. I'm killing several birds with one stone, and slowly but surely I will get good at this. So here we are. We're going to talk about resources, and we're going to talk about what you need to do to succeed at anything. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to be your example to some extent because I am determined to succeed at making these videos. I will get better as time goes on. Right now, I kind of feel like a flagellant. I have to beat myself to some to a certain degree to make this happen. It's not that I'm uncomfortable in front of the camera. It's that I have huge issues with procrastination and perfection. I didn't think I was such a perfectionist, but, well, in some respects I am. I will use, as I told you before, the pause button from time to time so that I can collect my thoughts for the next little burst. I'm going to talk to you about what you need to do, or what you need to consider in terms of personal resources to succeed at just about anything. My my credentials are minimal, actually. I do have a university degree in statistics from Michigan State University. I have used statistics here and there. I like statistics, which is many people groan. When I was going to college, they used to refer to it as sadistics and mathematics. And the engineers used to hang out in the same place with us for coffee, and they would be moaning about differential equations. But that's ancient history at this point. And I did get through the program. I did graduate. I didn't have real high marks, but it was passable. I've also been doing astrology for about 40 years. I generally get good reviews on that. I know what I'm doing there anyway. But I don't have any credentials there. I have 40 years of doing it, of studying, of talking to colleagues. Right now, I'm also an administrator on the on a traditional astrology list, uh, and in the in the more practical sphere, although that has its practical aspects. Uh, I'm in an online marketing program, so I'm learning a lot about myself, and I'm hoping to help you learn some things about yourself as a resource and how to put that resource to work for you to get uh, pretty much what you want out of life, um, and how not to become too much of a flagellant. In fact, well, maybe I should look into a, a supplier for, you know, whips, and I can sell them down in the comments, or sell them through a link to the videos. But that's a bit much. But it's a thought. It's certainly a thought. I have seen all sorts of things sold on the net. But we won't go there right now. Right now, we will focus on the business at hand, which is to talk to you about resources. I'm going to take a pause, and I will be right back and talk to you about yourself as a resource. What you need if you're going to make effective use of yourself as a resource, and what you need to do if you're going to realize your vision. Later, I will talk to you more about astrology and how that can be practically useful to you. However, we have to begin at the beginning. In the beginning, there are three things that you need. You need a clear vision of what it is you want. You need to understand yourself, and you need to be willing to take action. Once you have these three things clear, then you're ready to proceed. Usually, the next thing that you discover is that you need skills and tools to be able to take the action that you intend. And more often than not, you kind of have to jump into the action. And once you've learned a certain basic amount of information, the best teacher from that point forward is experience. It's always beneficial to study people who successfully do something you want to be able to do. For instance, if you want to learn astrology, hey, talk to people who are good astrologers. If you want to learn how to do tax preparation, get somebody to mentor you a little bit on that, or take a class. If you want to learn how to do online marketing, wow, there are a lot of programs out there. Some of them are very good. I believe that I'm enrolled in one of the best at the moment, but some of them are not so good. Some of them look great, but they don't actually go anywhere. Some of them are free. Some of them cost you an arm and, at least a couple of toes. And that's another place where astrology can be helpful to you. But let's stay on track. Let's remain focused on our issue here. First of all, you need a clear vision. No matter what you want to achieve, you need a clear vision. What do I mean by a clear vision? Well, you need a picture in your mind, or and maybe even being able to have yourself experience the feeling of being where you want to be. Let's say your vision is to become wealthy and have a lot of free time. That seems to be very popular these days. Uh, I, I personally don't care that much about money, although I realize that it is absolutely necessary for many things. Uh, so insofar as I need it, yes, I'm willing to do what it takes to get as much as I need. Uh, I'm not interested in becoming a billionaire. I mean, I might like to be able to uh, direct how billions are used, but hey, you know, that's way over the top from where we are right now. Uh, Something not really even worth uh, putting in the realm of consideration. So one of the things about your vision is it needs to be something that you can actually realize. Now, a reasonably wealthy lifestyle, not having to worry about the bills, being able to travel, uh, being able to spend time on your hobbies or your favorite recreations. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's perfectly realizable, especially uh, in terms of internet marketing. Now, your dream or your vision may be that you want uh, a more orderly life and less, and not to be concerned about the mundane details of life. Like, in which case you may want your vision. You may want a vision that includes something like a comfortable house that's laid out so that you have space for your hobbies, maybe a workshop, meeting rooms, perhaps, depending on, what kind of thing it is you want to do. And so that you don't have to be overly involved in the mundane details of life, you may want, a couple of servants. Uh, you may want a housekeeper. You may want a groundskeeper. Uh, Things like this. All that takes money. So, or it takes some pretty amazing patronage. And in this day and age, patronage is, it's kind of hard to come by. It's still out there here and there, but um, you're probably better off formulating a vision of what it is you want, and then clarifying it and making it real in your mind and in your feel it, make it visceral. uh, that makes it much stronger. It makes you much more willing and motivated to pursue it, and it uh, acts as a source of inspiration for you. I mean, I mean, maybe your vision is simply to not have to worry about the material constraints of life, money that is, and just to be left alone. You may want, like a house off the grid, uh, or someplace where no one bothers you. That may be your vision. Make it real. Smell it, feel it, taste it, picture it. Be clear about it. Clear intent. This is the first step. The second step is know yourself. Uh, it's like know who you are, what you have to work with, what obstacles you have internally that you're going to have to overcome, and then set up the plan to take action. Part of taking action is going to be you need information. Then that's where resources come in. Just, getting to know yourself, resources. You need resources. You need people. You need books. You need time. You need meditation can be very helpful. It's not everybody's track. There are a lot of self-development books. One of the things that they do initially is help you to get a better picture of who you are. Who are you dealing with? Most of us assume we know ourselves, but do we really? It's only when we come up to the point where we have to apply ourselves to something critical, or where we have to go through an experience that's extremely difficult, maybe even traumatic, that we really get to know what we're made of and who we are. And as I say, there are numerous approaches to doing this. Then the next step is prepare to take action. Once you feel you're prepared, you know what your vision is, you know who you are and what you've got to work with there, and what you're going to have to overcome there. Then the next step is, line up your ducks, kick it in motion. You may suck at it initially. So what? I mean, meditation's like that. Most people who start meditation suck at it for the first year. Then they start to get, reasonably, it's a reasonably smooth process. It does what it's supposed to do. It works as advertised, let's say. But it takes about a year. Online marketing. You'll hear all sorts of wonderful stories about how you can be rich in 90 days or whatever it is. Well, there's a lot of things that you're not being told that are additional considerations there. And usually it doesn't happen in a month or 3 months. I mean, there are people who are very fortunate or who have a lot of resources to work with in the first place, where it does work that way. But as a rule, no. It takes about a year and a half of, 6 months to a year and a half of solid effort. And there are other things, but it doesn't matter what it is. You have those three factors. There's knowing yourself, having a clear vision, and doing what's necessary to take action. We'll talk more about knowing yourself in the next video. Thank you very much for your time. And for those of you who've been following my posts in other places on Facebook, don't despair. The astrology will come in too. And as we go along in these videos, first of all, I will get smoother at it. And second of all, at some point, links will start showing up to resource pages, where I will put, I will be collecting books, software, links to training programs for different things like, different things like marketing programs, financial investment strategies, learn astrology, learn WordPress, things like that. And of course, various and sundry kinds of software, books, and, particularly useful websites as they as I discover them. So this is this exercise, this series of videos kills several birds with one stone. It lets me meet a challenge. It helps me develop better ability to do these videos. And when all is said and done, there will be a resource that will be useful to you, whatever you're planning to do. So stay tuned, and the next video we'll talk more about getting to know yourself and what to do about things that are obstructions. One of my big obstructions is procrastination. Since starting with the self-development stuff, I've cut that in half, but I need to cut it a lot more. Anyway, stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and warts and all, till I get it all developed. And no, I'm not Italian, but I do have a tendency to talk with my hands sometimes. I hope you don't find that distracting, but it's one of my habits. If tell me in the comments if you think that it's a habit that I should be curbing, or if you think it's fine, as long as it's not excessive, of course. Anyway, till next time, thanks for watching.